Here's 200 of my own money. I'm putting it all on Wemby. Victor Wembanyama is the best bet in the crowded MVP race now that Biden dropped out. Check out these MVP odds. You've got Jokic and Luka at the top, SGA sliding in third, and a few injury-prone guys like Giannis and Embiid. After that, it's wide open like Ben Simmons at the top of the key. MVP is a narrative-driven award, so what has to happen for the Wemby story to have a happy ending this season? Does he have enough stats? Will the Spurs win enough games? Let's dive in. Last season, Wemby averaged 21.4 points, 10.6 rebounds, and almost 4 assists with a ridiculous 3.6 blocks, leading to a close second-place finish in Defensive Player of the Year voting. In fact, only 7 other players averaged more than 2 blocks per game. Wemby is on track to become the greatest defensive player of all time.
That has to be a typo.
I said of all time. His defense is what will carry him up the MVP leaderboard, but his offense is almost equally scary. Last year, he was 6th in the league in usage rate, 5th if you ignore Embiid, with a slightly below average true shooting percentage of 56.5%, which was just 1 point below another MVP favorite, Anthony Edwards. Remember, this guy was a 19-year-old rookie. That's young enough to date Josh Giddey. But if we look at his stats after January 1st, we can really see what he's capable of. The Spurs tanked the first half of the season hard, even running Jeremy Blue Steel Sohan at point guard in an attempt to lose games. After January 1st, Pop's instincts and winning habits kicked in, and the Spurs started to compete. How crazy was Wemby in the second half? In just 29 minutes per game, he averaged 22.5 points, 10.7 rebounds, almost 4.5 assists, and just under 4 blocks. His 4.4 assists were 4th among centers during that stretch. Wemby's numbers don't even make sense. They look like alien hieroglyphics. He can shoot threes on the move and off the dribble, and he's got range. Is there anything this guy can't do?
Let's see him carry a superhero franchise like Shaq.
He had some turnover issues, but come on. What an insane rookie season. This year, I project Wemby to play 2 to 3 more minutes per game. I mean, he only played 29 minutes as the Spurs were tanking and Jeremy Sohan was auditioning for Zoolander 3.
I'm not an ambi-turner.
So with more minutes and some natural progression as a player, we could easily be looking at 25 points per game, 11.5 rebounds, 5 assists, and 4 blocks. Those are numbers only seen on 2K Create a Player mode. His efficiency is what will make or break his MVP case on the offensive end. If he takes a few more of those bad contested mid-range jumpers out of his bag and gets a few more looks around the basket, he'll push for a 60% true shooting percentage. 60% true shooting is mostly reserved for rim-running bigs, catch-and-shoot specialists, and the absolute elite scorers. Guys like Steph Curry, SGA, Durant, and Zach LaVine that one year. Can Wemby really push up toward that number? I say yes. I think his teammates are still getting used to playing with him. There's just never been anything like him, so guys like Trey Jones and Devin Vassell haven't figured out that he catches every lob you throw, or that he can catch and shoot from 30 feet. Wemby's teammates suck, and that might make his MVP case even stronger. Last year, they threw some garbage lineups out there. They only had one lineup play more than 150 minutes together, and it was Trey Jones, Devin Vassell, Shampenny, Jeremy Sohan, and Wemby. This is a lineup you expect to see at 2 a.m. at a dive bar in Houston. It's disappointing before you try to score, and traumatic with post-nut clarity.
I mean, you're right. You're right, Jake. Zach Collins started 29 games next to Wemby. Julian Champagna started 59 games.
They replaced some of their worst rotation players with Harrison Barnes and Chris Paul, 2 veterans who can help in the locker room and on the court. But make no mistake about it, this roster is still cheeks. So if Wemby drags these Spurs to a 500 record, it'll remind a lot of people of Westbrook's MVP season, having us ask just how much team performance matters in this award. And my God, is there a better lob partner for Chris Paul than Wemby? Have you seen this guy's catch radius? Other MVP candidates are on loaded teams. Jason Tatum will lose votes to Jaylen Brown, and Jamal Murray will distract from Jokic's brilliance. It's Luka's team, but on Dallas, Kyrie garners so much attention. Back on the Spurs, there's one man, one island, Wembanyama. There's a history of great players taking leaps to jump into the MVP discussion in their second year. Guys like Durant, LeBron, And Larry Bird even finished second in MVP voting in his sophomore year. The biggest thing holding WemVP back is just how much star power is at the top of the league. The Western Conference is brutal this year, and there isn't much of a history of teams outside the playoffs having an MVP winner, let alone a top 5 candidate. So, can Wemby drag this dregs of a Spurs team to 40 wins? How many wins will it take for him to be a serious contender for this award? Tell me who you've got for MVP. Who's your dark horse? Can Jokic really win again? Remember, this is a narrative-driven award, and I think I see a surprise ending that will have us all saying, joueur le plus précieux.